Jesse Waters. Of all the there's few Fox hosts that I
What did you have
actually
for
like. I
dinner?
actually like Jesse Waters. I think he does a good job. And I'm happy that like some actors don't recover. Like so for him to because he had such an iconic role
You
as
made the
Ross on
pesto or you bought it?
Friends, and so for him to kind of move into this next chapter of his life,
Oh, you're
it's
eating
very
fake
commendable.
fucking
It's very
pesto. You're
commendable
fucking
that
fake
he had an iconic
pesto.
role as Ross. He was in the O.J. Simpson made-for-TV series,
You're
and
gonna
now
fucking
he
die from
is
the
on
fake
Fox News. And I think
pesto.
he's their best, personality at Fox News. So shout out to you, David Schwimmer, who changed his name. And I get it. You have to change your name. You can't continue to be David Schwimmer. And I think Jesse Waters is a good name change for him too. So
You put 9 of them in a room, they
Oh,
can't agree on anything. There are 5 laws that
whoa,
say the
whoa,
president can use tariffs. So the president picks one, uses tariffs, gets sued, and the Supreme Court can't agree if he picked the right law. 3 said he did, 6 said he didn't.
oh,
They all
fuck.
Chris said
Oh,
he wasn't really on Friends, was he? I, I really want to lean into the sarcasm
yeah,
more,
dude.
but I, you seem genuine by asking that.
Oh, you don't have those, dude?
So I'm just going to say yes, he was. All right.
agree the president has the power to use a tariff,
There you go.
but 6 of them say he's got to pick a different law. So the president's just going to pick a different law. Put the tariffs back on. That's what happened.
Just waiting for this
The 3 justices who
bit
backed
to
Trump
start
were
the
Kavanaugh,
stream.
Alito, and Thomas. Amy Coney Barrett, Gorsuch Roberts all sided with the Democrats.
I'm ashamed of certain members of the court, absolutely ashamed, for not having the courage to do what's right for our country. In fact, they're just being fools and lapdogs for the rhinos and the radical left Democrats. The court has been
calling them. And another reporter asked Trump if they were still invited to his State of the Union, and he said barely. Now, he was kind of joking around with it, but he's like, barely. They're barely still invited. I'm like, yes.
swayed by foreign interests and a political movement that is far smaller than people would ever think.
I guess Trump's not a dictator anymore because the court ruled against him, and he's going to do what they say. Carney in Canada.
Whoa, hold on a minute. Didn't we have, what was that? AOC, I think it was AOC. Didn't AOC tell Biden to ignore the courts? I can't remember what specifically that was about, but this was a couple years ago, like 2022 or whatever, where AOC told Biden to ignore the courts. But Trump is the dictator. Didn't AOC tell Biden to ignore the courts? I can't remember what specifically that was about, but this was a couple years ago, like 2022 or whatever, where AOC told Biden to ignore the courts. But Trump is the dictator. But AOC told Biden to ignore the Supreme Court. Was it 2023? Okay, 2023. Yep.
He doesn't have this issue. Ursula at the EU can hit us with tariffs and nothing stops her. Mexico can hit back fast. China can. They dump in tariff all day long. But the United States has to just sit there and take it? The president can't hit back fast? He has to guess which law to use. And if he retaliates too hard against Vietnam or Switzerland, these countries can hold firm because the court might strike them down.
Foreign countries that have been ripping us off for years are ecstatic. They're so happy. And they're dancing in the streets, but they won't be dancing for long. That I can assure you.
The president enacted big, fast, sweeping tariffs to knock everybody off their chairs and send them scurrying to Washington to negotiate. Other countries were desperate to do a deal because the tariffs hurt and Trump had a free hand. You think if Trump had waited 2 years and then hit the Japanese with just a tiny 10% little tariff, they would have buckled and sent us $600 billion?
Okay, a couple people, I have to clear this up. A couple people are saying, Jeremy, why are you saying that he was in Friends? You're messing around. Okay, fine. You want proof? Here. There it is.
Pivot! Pivot! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
All right, there. All right.
The president controls foreign policy. Foreign trade is foreign policy. And Trump used tariffs to get NATO's spending boosted, to kick China out of the Panama Canal, and to pull Greenland away from little Denmark, and to make peace deals. Hey, you two stop fighting or I'll slap 50% tariffs on you both. The Supreme Court says you did that the wrong way? You got to do it this way instead? Richard Nixon used the exact same authority to slap a 10% tariff on almost every import.
I am glad that, like, because you do have to continue. Like, I know it's kind of, it seems irrelevant for people to continue to compare what other presidents have done versus what Trump is doing and how Trump is doing similar things that other presidents have done in similar situations. But you have to do this in order to let these people, because there are so many people that think, like, there are people that they believe without a doubt that Donald Trump is an evil dictator, that he is literally Hitler. I mean, I know we meme on that a lot, but the truth is that there are people that truly do believe it. They believe it 100%. And they just don't have any ability to think for themselves. But then there's some people who hear it and then they go, oh, okay, how bad is this guy?
Sure.
They need to be educated. There's certain people, the people that believe,
You want to play right now?
you're never going to convince them. But there are some people that are going to sit there and listen to reason that need to be educated. And if you're not educating people, if you're not giving them the true story, if you're not talking and dumbing it down for them, they're never going to understand it. And that's just the truth of it. This is why, like, people make fun of Trump a lot for the way he talks and the things he says. Trump understands communication better than anybody.
Did you start
Nobody
using it
knows
during
communication
COVID?
better than me. But he's right, because he understands that talking like a normal person is more effective than talking over people's heads. Talking to them like a normal person, using normal language, using normal ways to speak, that is going to be far better than talking over people's heads all day. Look at what's his name? Ben Carson. I love Ben Carson. Whenever Ben Carson would talk, we all were just like, what'd he say? What? What are you talking about? He's too fucking smart. Not to mention, he's a pretty boring speaker too.
Okay, you just look at your
saying words. We're like, what the fuck?
your
does that even
oldest
mean?
file
The Supreme
in
Court
whatever
upheld
this is, Lego.
Trump used the same authority and they knocked it down. How mad is
Oh
the
yeah,
president?
fuck.
He's pretty mad.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Court justices who ruled against this the policy, striking it down, are they still invited to your State of the Union next week? And will you speak with them?
They are invited, barely. Barely. 3 are happily invited. No, they're barely invited.
Kavanaugh cut through all the gobbledygook and said, what's the point of ruling against him if he could just easily do it another way? Quote, although I firmly disagree with the court's holding today, the decision might not substantially constrain a president's ability to order terror.
You DM me the AOC clip from 2023? Okay, let's see here. So again, evil dictator Trump. And we've got this clip right here. Let me pull it up. My request. Why are message requests taking forever to load? Sometimes Twitter sucks, man. Like, it really does. Here we go. Okay. Appreciate it, man. Thank you. Here we go. Yep. Here's the clip of AOC in 2023. The Biden administration should ignore the court.
There has been thought, I believe, given to this. Senator Ron Wyden has issued statements, for example, advising what we should do in a situation like this, which I concur, which is that I believe that the Biden administration should ignore this ruling. I think that we, the courts have the legitimacy and they rely on the legitimacy of their rulings. And what they are currently doing is engaged in an unprecedented and dramatic erosion of the legitimacy of the courts. It is the justices themselves, through the deeply partisan and unfounded nature of these rulings, that are undermining their own enforcement.
So you're saying the Biden administration should ignore this court, but what does that look like? What does that actually mean?
You know, I think the interesting thing when it comes to a ruling is that it relies on enforcement. And it is up to the Biden administration to choose whether or not to enforce such a ruling.
Bro, could you imagine if
Oh.
someone said that, if a Republican or someone in the Trump administration said this today, and how they would treat that, to just blatantly defy
Tariffs going forward. That is because numerous other federal statutes authorize the president to impose tariffs and might justify most, if not all, of the tariffs at issue in this case. Then Kavanaugh made a list of all the other laws the president can use to do the exact same thing. It's like having
I invited you, dog.
but you have to do it by hand. You're not allowed to use the dishwasher. Why are we making it so difficult? Let's just get the dishes done and go to bed. Trump has a whole toolbox of things he can use, and he's just going to go down the list, and he's already checking it off. Tariffs are being put back. What a waste of time. And the president campaigned and won on this.
and dude, like Gavin Newsom and all these other clowns, they went off on the celebrations. Democrats, Trump haters, all of these idiots, they were celebrating like it was the greatest moment in their lives, because it's all it is about headlines for these clowns. It's not about anything of substance. They just want negative headlines about Trump. And if they can get a negative headline, they don't care if it's true. They don't care if it's going to continue on. They don't care if there's any substance to it. They don't care. They only care about headlines.
Japan spent $60 million to build a factory in Georgia. Trump was just there yesterday, and everybody wanted to give him a kiss. And I mean everyone.
I made a speech at a factory. They make steel products. And I said, how are you? Nice to meet you. How's business? President, I'd love to kiss you. This is a very powerful man. I don't want to be kissed by that man.
Freaking Trump.
Kiss you. This is a very powerful man. I don't want to be kissed by that man. But a very powerful, strong man. He's been in the steel business for many years. He said, sir, I want to kiss you. I said, why? I said, because we were down to working 1 hour a week. And then you came in and imposed tariffs. And all of that foreign junk that they were dropping into our country stopped. He said, sir, I want to kiss you so badly. And I said, no, thank you.
Dog, you see my character's eyes?
Why does he have to put such emphasis on
He's
it?
fucking seen some shit, dog.
The silver lining. The president goes back, does it again. This time, it's even more targeted and strategic. He's already locked in the trade deal. Now he can carve out exemptions for in a way, it's a win. We got the deal. And now we can go back and redo it, and we can decide what each business needs. The crazy thing about all this is
No.
now it's not illegal to activate 20 million foreigners in the country. Just don't charge the foreigners a fee.
I'm dead.
I can destroy the trade. I can destroy the country. I'm even allowed to impose a foreign country destroying embargo. I can embargo. I can do anything I want, but I can't charge $1. Because that's not what it says. And that's not the way it even is. I can do anything I want to do.
Presidents can destroy but not fix. That puts everything in perspective about what Joe Biden was allowed to do, Barack Hussein Obama was allowed to do, and yet Trump is not allowed to fix the country from the standpoint of how much they screwed up the country. That puts it into perfect perspective.
To them, but I can't charge any money.
Democrats who actually begged Clinton, Bush, Obama to start a trade war with China now say only dictators start trade wars.
Hakeem Jeffries, Democrat leader,
as close to a wannabe king. Why wouldn't
We're attacking Charlie.
But why wouldn't he doesn't even know? And I watched him the other day interview. The guy doesn't even know what a tariff is.
The globalism trusts the working man. If NASA doesn't trust us, if cheap Chinese labor destroys small-town America, how's Trump supposed to save the working man if he can't renegotiate trade?
I have not seen that thing. I haven't seen that yet.
Trump's at least trying to get others to tax. Democrats want you to tax. Mayor Mondani said he was going to make the
Oh, yeah. Not that
says
one.
he's going to raise the taxes and raid the treasury. How's that for a bait and switch?
In order to get to this point, closing the gap in both
Nice, I saw that.
fiscal year, we are forced to raid the rainy day fund, the retiree health benefits trust reserve, and to increase property taxes across these other years.
New Yorkers not happy about it.
I'll just say this, and I don't know about these guys here, but if any of these guys, if you voted for Mamdani, I don't give a fuck what you have to say. I don't give a shit. You're too stupid to be taken seriously. If, in fact, if they voted for him, I don't care. I have no sympathy for you at all. Your concerns mean absolutely
Before the Trump tax cuts, you're getting a big, beautiful tax refund this April. And Democrats don't even know it yet, but they just walked into a pretty big trap. Newsom saying Americans should get a tariff refund.
Donald Trump should return that money to
We are seriously, if this dude, I'm telling you right now, if this dude is the Democratic nomination, and I do think that I'm still
We need you supporting the attack.
my confidence is not as high as it used to be, but I still think that he has a chance to be a Democratic nominee. Not as good as he is as
We're fucking dead. Oh, we're fuck.
the party, the Democratic Party, AOC, Kamala Harris, Jasmine Crockett. As Bernie is 155-year-old Bernie Sanders gonna run again? If this guy gets the Democratic nomination, I know Stephen A. might be over there as well. This is the most crooked and evil motherfucker in American politics right now in a prominent position. He is horrible. And if the fact that he's governor of one of the biggest economies in the world is straight up terrible.
You finally resulted the rule of law.
Stimmy check, good Trump's normal right before the midterms. I'm into it. Anyway, most of the tariffs are eaten by foreigners, importers, and prices went up. Yeah, but inflation's gone down since liberation. But as long as we're playing along, I love the idea of a refund. Are we getting refund checks for the $9 billion? American Express pays me back. Are we getting refund checks for Biden? The average family pays thousands of dollars more a year. Should I check the mailbox? We spent hundreds of
Down some fucking supplies.
Good content. It will be good content. So, how old will Bernie be in 2028?
Okay, good. Fuck it.
How old is he going to be? He's got to be in his 80s, right? He's got to be in his 80s already. So, but I hope he does. I hope he does. It will be funny to watch. 145.
What do you want there?
90? He's not 90, is he? How old? Somebody tell me.
Somebody's coming up.
86? That sounds about right, actually. 86? It's a little older than I thought.
Going to 20 moves.
So 87? 84? I'm just getting, I have no idea.
Oh.
87, MH, thank you for the support and telling me the number. Appreciate it.
billions on migrants, their hotels, healthcare, phones. I want a refund.
Oh, somebody's coming up.
California taxpayers can get the $24 billion back that Gavin
Oh.
spent on the homeless. California taxpayers get the $16 billion back from the train to nowhere that Gavin never built. That rail CEO, he just got a
Shit, somebody's coming up. I fell off the building. Amazing.
Continue to make progress laying the rail.
leading the charge on the refund, all right? He's not even leading Mayor Pete.
Oh.
New Hampshire has Buttigieg beating AOC, Newsom, and Harris.
When they took over Buttigieg, who has no
I blew up.
tries to work in his bicycle. He was husband on the back, which was a nice, loving relationship. But he didn't have it good. This guy didn't have it good. He's actually never president. With him and Brock, you can have that party.
No, Buttigieg.
You jumped off the building, dog.
This is what I'm saying, man. Right now, just hear me out. Right now, if Stephen A. Smith gets into this race, you're telling me he can't lead these four clowns? I'm sorry, man. I have been watching Stephen A. Smith for a long time, and I absolutely believe Stephen A. Smith could elevate beyond all four.
Whoa, what
of these
happened, dog?
clowns. I absolutely believe that. 100%.
New Hampshire refunds, all right?
Yeah.
He's not even leading Mayor Pete. A new poll
Gotta
in New
be
Hampshire
careful,
has
dog.
Mayor Pete, Kamala said he was too gay to run with, is now running away with him.
What the fuck am I doing? I'm just a thermal scanner in this.
Newsom's already on his knees, begging the South Carolina kingmaker for favors.
Try to understand. I love the meeting John Lewis, meeting Martin Luther King. You're contemporary of all these folks. Jesse Jackson, all these folks. I mean, so were they? For someone like me sitting back, we look at these people, and obviously,
Yeah, Newsom's lost control. Blacks hate him, so he's kissing Clyburn. And he needs to become money to win. So he's siding with China in the trade war. Remember, he claimed up San Francisco for not for us. He's in a lot of trouble.
He is in a lot of trouble, but he's still going to be a player in the Democratic side for sure. He just is. I mean, it's just a matter of how bad the party is right now and how bad the choices are. So I still think he's going to be a player. I mean, with Kamala Harris having any kind of the fact that she's in play at all, like I don't remember the numbers. The last time Kamala Harris was part of a primary, Kamala Harris didn't even chart. She's so unlikable. No one likes Kamala Harris. She didn't even, she was like lost. She was last in the front, like nobody likes Kamala Harris. Now, the more that Kamala talks, and the more that typically when the more women talk, the less people like. Okay, that's just how it works, right? The more women talk, the less likable they are. So the more that Kamala and AOC talk, the less that is proven, that is accurate, everybody knows. So, we shall see how this goes about. But getting back to the main thing here, and that is the Trump tariffs. Trump is going to win. He's going to win. He's going to take full advantage of this. It's going to take some time. For $1.99 for $1 is the new dog show Better Call Maul? I don't think love it. Quagmire says, just kidding, you're annoying as we talk about news. Storm Shadow says, Trump needs to collect super chats, grift harder like D-Day. 2012 Jameson says nothing scares Jeremy after he dated Big Mike. Storm Shadow's a single issue voter. I love boots. Mandy, I got that one started earlier. Thank you, Mandy. Come back. 50s. John Fricker Murdoch says you know that Stephen A.
Bye.
SA.
The enemy is attacking Alpha.
I mean, I guess the question would be, I wouldn't put it past them, but I guess the question would be, who is their preferred nominee? And I think their preferred nominee is probably Gavin Newsom. That's what I think the preferred nominee is. So that would be the question, though. In order for them to want to throw a bunch of stuff at Stephen A., we would have to determine who they want to be in.
Nice
who they want
dog.
to have the nomination. I tend to think that is Gavin Newsom. I don't think they want Kamala back. I think that they know that AOC would be a complete and total disaster.
Objective marked. We need
Josh
you supporting the
Shapiro
attack.
is probably someone, but I don't think that they want him as the nominee. So yeah, I don't think so. I think Josh Shapiro is probably somebody they would look at and go, there's a, you know. So I think Gavin Newsom is the one that the deep state would probably want them. That's what I think.
Get the fuck out of the tank.
Let's see.
It's over, dog. It's over.
Same goes to the chat. Not everyone here is still. Vault 199 says Journey 2 in the war is better than the war ending. Recent Smack Talk Tax MC60 becomes a new member. Thank you. The Jinx says Trump is like Bunny. When you think you got him, he still finds a way out.
I can't fucking do it.
Wizard says definitely not on topic, but check out the Sonic versus One Man Punch animation by Speed Blitz Animation. It's the best version of Sonic I have seen. Noted. I'll have to check that out. Drop that in one of like the Reddit or the Snake Pit on Twitter or you know, wherever you are following. I might be targeting objective Bravo. Okay, next on the agenda for the evening. Oh God, did I say that?
Nice.
Agenda. Oh man. Let's see. Right here. Check this out. Very interesting, ladies and gentlemen. Yet another conspiracy has been proven to be true. The Biden administration swore that they stayed away from the DOJ's illegal raid on Mar-a-Lago. Democrats never expected the results to come out and prove that they did. When do
Taken by hostiles.
press start, Pam Bondi?
Breaking tonight, a Fox News exclusive with new information that appears to directly contradict the Biden administration's insistence it had nothing to do with just on former President Trump.
Yeah, they had nothing to do with that. Imagine believing that. Imagine believing that nonsense. Stop.
Alleged retention of classified materials subject to great using Mar-a-Lago home. Correspondent David Scott details tonight.
See, this moment right here, and I remember when this happened, like at this moment in time, anybody that, now I want to be clear in how I'm saying this, anyone that follows politics in any capacity and still didn't support Trump 100% after this, the Joe Rogans of the world, you know, like, what the fuck are you doing? How could you see them raid his home a former president and the current front runner. How could you see them do this and be like, yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to support that Trump guy? Fuck off, man.
Coordination between the White House counsel's office and the DOJ regarding an interview of Walt Nauta. Remember, Walt Nauta is a current White House aide to President Trump, who was then former President Trump's aide in Florida. Now, later charged alongside Trump by Special Counsel Jack Smith. The May 2022 email reads in part, coordination with DOJ and White House counsel are starting the process and interview current administration employee Walt Nauta. This event is dependent upon the timeline of President Biden's first decision and coordination between White House counsel and DOJ, and in turn an important position on the override of privilege decision and whether or not he seeks an injunction to prevent access. It was written by an FBI agent, and at the forefront, of course, one of Trump's lawyers at the time. This coming August, Brett will mark 4 years since FBI raided Mar-a-Lago. A few days after that, then
4 years. My goodness, time flies. Again, I asked the question, is it just old age and time is flying, or is it the internet makes time move so fast? 4 years? Oh, Lord, man.
and Attorney General Merrick Garland
We have secured Bravo.
I personally approve the decision to seek a search warrant in this matter. Second, the department does not take such a decision lightly.
And we're getting new reaction to these emails. Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan in the House says in part, it's always worse than we thought. These newly released documents confirm that the Biden DOJ's raid on Mar-a-Lago was politically motivated. We're also hearing from the more we learn about the DOJ weaponization by the Trump administration, the worse the story gets. Right, she says this right here, the key part. She says it will continue disclosing key evidence to our congressional partners and those who committed crimes to justice. That's coming from the Attorney General.
Hey, we got a comment from Cam Bondi. I think Cam Bondi gives a lot of confidence. Cam Bondi has commented on this obvious disaster that people need to be held accountable. But hey, she did comment on it. So I think we should all be very, very happy now. She commented. And she'll probably make an appearance on Fox News tomorrow so that she can talk about this very, very aggressively. Oh, man. She will send a strong letter to Biden. A strongly worded letter.
Jump, dog. I got your back.
And obviously, love Trump, but it's his hire. She's not good. She's not good at this. In order for people, like, you would think the American people would have confidence when Trump's attorney general speaks. You would think. But yet, here we are. And every time she speaks, none of us have any confidence in that. Not one of them. So, it is what it is. So, Trump called Gorsuch and Amy Coney Barrett out by name for voting against his tariffs. Here we go. What happened today with the 2 United States Supreme Court justices that I appointed against great opposition, Neil Gorsuch and Amy Coney Barrett, whether people like it or not, never seems to happen with Democrats. They vote against Republicans and never against themselves almost every single time, no matter how good a case we have. At least I didn't appoint Roberts, who led the effort to follow foreign countries.
It's your favorite map, dude.
Ripping us, or to allow foreign countries that have been ripping us off for years to continue to do so. But we won't let it happen. The new tariffs, totally tested and accepted as law, are on their way. President
It's
Donald
the best map
Trump.
released in the history of all video games ever.
Amy Coney Barrett. So he's pissed, and he should be. He should be very, very pissed. Virtue signaling Amy Coney Barrett. Again, it is on Trump's. Gorsuch. I'm not gonna but you can't predict everybody's actions. Okay. Amy Coney Barrett. Dude, come on. Like, it's obvious. It's obvious that this woman was going to be a feminist you know, that is going to virtue signal for diversity and leftist propaganda. Last message, Jeremy needs to go to the words to read
Nice. Fucking retard doesn't know how to drive.
So Trump is full he's got his full schedule tomorrow. President Trump is working all day on Saturday from the White House. This is what posting ahead looks like from tomorrow. And so it's going to be a good one. So he is.
I fucking knew you were gonna do that.
Setting up at all 47. No days off for 47. Hayden Wayne says, damn, time really flies. It absolutely does, Hayden Wayne. Unfortunately, it does. Hayden Wayne for 100 says, I just want to say I have been super critical of Pam's appointment since the beginning. She's always been a problem, and I am vindicated. Also, I just want to make an announcement here. Two of my great friends have officially tied the knot. Congrats to Mr. and Mrs. ABF. Absolutely fantastic. I would highlight your comment if StreamYard was sucking right now. It'll populate you in a minute. But I did that up a little bit earlier, Hayden Wayne. But yes, congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. ABF right here on Twitter. Look at there. Look at the happy couple. ABF, don't miss. So congratulations to both of them. Great to see. Congratulations. Love to see. That's awesome. It's awesome. It's just awesome when you see, you know, a man and a woman tie the knot. It's awesome when it's not a bunch of gays. So, you know, just saying. This is 2026. When a man and a woman get married, you go,
What the fuck is this bullshit?
Ministry says that you know case to the Supreme Court in the first place. Mike Pence, no, seriously, it was him and his legal team. Mike Pence is an administrator. He's a horrible person. I saw him celebrating the decision today. And yeah, so not surprising. I do like that the White House tweeted this out right here. So this is the White House. Keep calm and carry on. So Trump's not backing down at all. All right, there's Hayden Wayne's finally super popular.
Hey, dude, this map is a piece of shit, man.
I saw people memeing this one right here. I'm a Supreme Court justice. I'm gonna strike down these tariffs. Oh man! By the way, we got MegaCon coming up. Now, a lot of the things that we were discussing at MegaCon. Are you going to be at MegaCon? That is what you're interested in. See, go to geekgamers.com. If you click that banner right there, it will take you to this page. And if you have not reserved your spot for the GNG meetup, the whole GNG Drinker, Gary, Rippa, Yellow Flash Club, maybe the quarter will show up. What do you think? I think the quarter will show up. He's welcome.
Fuck.
We'd love to have you, Quarter. We'd love to have you, buddy. You can come celebrate.
There's a fucking tank in front of us.
I don't know, 800-900 maybe even 1,000. So, Laughing Man says no.
I'll take on a fucking tank in a fucking Jeep, dude.
Being nice. You just invite people. Marmilla says, thank God we have Ken Ryan, the Fox correspondent, who moonlights as our AG. He is whipping up a strongly worded tweet that will be written by Grok, sourcing the Con Inc. influencers. Yes, indeed. By the way, I got to show you guys a story, all right? I got to show you guys a very, listen, we don't have a lot of positive stories in 2026, but when there is a positive story...
How many fucking bullets?
to protest schools is absolutely unthinkable. This is not a prank. This is beyond bullying. You are evil. They are evil.
Black Lives Matter. That is such a reversed line right there. This is so fucking reversed. This is beyond evil. They are beyond evil. Legitimately acting.
This is beyond bullying. You are evil. They are evil.
Oh my god, it's so cringe to watch that.
Black Lives Matter, of course, got involved. As police and school officials investigated the case, though, it began to unravel. The full story wasn't adding up. Van was never formally charged, and instead he brought a civil suit against Humphrey's mother, Summer Smith. 5 years later, the jury has awarded Van $3.2 million.
Fucking bullets.
Smith inflicted emotional distress and invaded his privacy.
All right, so this woman and this lawyer have to pay this white kid $3.2 million.
This is music to my ears. This is music to my ears.
This lawyer has to pay this white kid $3.2 million for calling him a racist. Let's go. Let's see. In today's world of math, between the grocery store and the skyrocketing insurance premiums, even if you have a job, more families can be special.
So we're going to let that okay. We're gonna let the man drift and then we'll get to the top.
Standard American Financial helping homeowners pay off those high interest debts at rates that are in the low fives. Now, their salary-based mortgage consultants don't
Respect
just push
the grift,
loans.
baby.
They build strategies for debt. On average, they're saving their customers
Nate, dude, we've had him on Management a couple times. It was a long time ago. I know he just went through a range of it. I don't know. I know he's, on the other side of it. But prayers up to him. He's not going through hell.
and NMLS number 1823334. Now, for more information, call 866-336-5030. 866-336-5030. Or go to AmericanFinancial.net/news. All right, so let's get straight to the facts. We're in 2021 Plano, Texas. 13-year-old goes to a sleepover with a friend he's been going to his house for over 3 years. His mother's name is Summer Smith, and her attorney's name is Kim T. Cole. And she's going to explain what happened.
And Kim, what kind of action could potentially be taken against these minors who allegedly did these things to Samaria? Or against any adults who might have known what was going on?
That the appropriate criminal
Dog. Dog, there's nothing in this fridge. There's nothing in this fridge.
Indoctrinating these kids and also trying to destroy the life of another kid.
They're downstairs.
You are a racist piece of shit.
They're downstairs.
The definition of it, not the 2020, 25, 2026 definition. Not this nonsense. Not the
Dog, we're trapped in here, dog. They're
black person in here. So we're not talking about that bullshit. We're talking about the actual meaning of racism.
Get the fuck out of here.
Evil pieces of shit are.
Broke my legs. There's a tank. What are you doing? Blow it up! Nice. Blow it up! Blow the fucking thing up!
So we would like to see charges brought against all of the
Dog, I need some.
assaulted him, as well as the parents who allowed this to happen.
I'm in trench fucking warfare!
Absolutely.
Now, the GoFundMe was successful. Emily Nix raised $120,000 for both counseling for the young student and so the family got clear out of case that there was an assault motivated by hate, all the racial slurs while they were doing it. But there are two sides to every story. Here is the defendant, Asher Van, and he's going to tell you what happened from his perspective.
Well, me and my friends from school, we had a sleepover for my birthday, and we played a prank. First we went to sleep, got drinks. It was immature and stupid.
No, you being a normal person, you're just a friend. This is called
Shut your fucking mouth.
How do you feel about that now? It was immature. It was stupid, but it's...
The enemy.
That's not who I am.
The enemy's up front.
We're gonna talk about this immature.
I fucking miss. I fucking miss.
One of the allegations was that you and other people were slurs. Did you do that? No, this was a friend for 3 years prior to that. He would frequently go to my house.
I mean, I think it's that I use like
Oh, no.
Like butter. You know, he's a friend. I wouldn't use that, and obviously if I did.
Dog!
He was the story that was put 4 years ago.
Dog, help me.
Racism as torture. I had no idea. This
Fucking
was
idiot.
happening, even though me and my dad were the one taking him after school.
See you, Nandy.
It was played out so differently, so wild. That's not how it happened.
So those are two very, very different stories, and police had to investigate.
Were there any criminal charges in this case?
Oh shit. Okay, that's our teammate. Fuck. Am I hitting the fucking tank?
The criminal cases turned out to be much ado about nothing. The grand jury declined to indict. The federal district court found that the school district was not able to punish for this conduct and apply definitions that did not apply in the law.
So now those are two really different stories. On one side, you have this white family saying, hey, this kid's been staying with us at our house for about 3 years. We used to take him back home and to school every day. How all of a sudden are we racist? Matter of fact, he's literally coming to a sleepover.
Am I not hitting their fucking tank with my motor?
I'll just speak on this from a high-level standpoint, but, like, you know...
It doesn't damage vehicles?
So, like, I always, when, you know, my daughter would have friends over or whatever, I was always making sure that I was never in the home alone without another adult, because you just never fucking know. Maybe that's my paranoia, but like I'm paranoid about I don't want to put power over anyone or anything. I don't know who people are. I don't know who.
They have shotguns.
Like you always make sure that you are never in a vulnerable position from that standpoint. You just don't know. You just never know.
Oh shit, that was close. The tank is shooting at us.
I've heard accusations out there. So I'm just like, I'm gonna protect myself. Make sure I have an adult with me at all times, so that nothing can ever be said. So it's just
around 30. I think there's a sniper.
It's fucking crazy, but you gotta be, you know, you gotta be on alert at all times. It goes back to my whole situation of like wanting to make sure I know where the exit door is when I'm in a restaurant, or where in a movie theater, or not wanting to be in. I have to be on the edge of the booth when I'm at a restaurant with people or whatever. I have to have room to move and, you know, do whatever I need to do. That's just how I operate.
Then you have the other side, the mom and the attorney saying, no, this family is racist, and they tortured these kids, and this was a racially motivated incident, and the family was evil and racist. So now the next question is, well, why the hell did...
Yeah, like, just being accused of racist just because somebody's like, oh, we see an opportunity. We see an opportunity. We're going to call this person racist. Why are they racist? And if you don't have, you know, people to back you up, because, well, again, I don't know the specific case here, but most people in that situation, you don't want in 2020, 2015, 2025, you don't want to be a white person accused of racism.
Bro, we fucking started this fucking entourage. Everyone's over.
The black kid's mom and his lawyer has to pay $3.2 million for the white kid. Well, for the full legal breakdown, I'm going to bring in my boy, D-Law, D-Law and Associates. Link to his channel is in the description. He's going to let you know exactly what happened in the criminal case and what happened in the civil case, and why his mom and his lawyer on the hook for $3.2 million.
All right, so let's break down the actual legal charges, because there are two sides to this: the criminal side and the civil side. Let's talk about it. First, the criminal case. Summer Smith pushed for the boys to be charged, and the police did file charges. But listen to what the charges actually were: Class C misdemeanor. For those of you who don't know, it's the equivalent of a.
Of course, the fucking helo, dude.
Class A misdemeanor. Check this out. But here's the thing. Those charges didn't even stick. The case went to the grand jury, and listen to what happened. So the grand jury declined to indict. All citations dismissed. That means no criminal record. Nothing. Now we turn to the civil case. And this is where things just flip. So Asher Man's family sued Summer Smith and her attorney, Kim Cole. And listen carefully. Hell yeah.
I should have fucking picked engineer.
So the jury found two things: intentional infliction of emotional distress and invasion of privacy, publicizing a minor's private life. Some people might ask, why not just manage to listen to the attorney's explanation? So they couldn't file for defamation in Texas because of the 1-year statute of limitations. But intentional infliction of emotional distress carries a longer window, and that's where they got it. The jury came back with a $2 million verdict for the
Yo, was that one RPG, dude? Oh, fuck. Dog, wait for me. Fucking left. Oh. I didn't know you had.
Explosive threat here!
Bring it down, bring it down. Nice, dude.
Alright, we have secured Foxtrot. Hostiles still control more objectives.
Flop of the century, dog. Yo, come pick me up. Oh shit, there's mines there. Dang. It's in there. Still there? Holy shit. Oh. Ace. Nice. I accidentally got out.
Okay, I got you.
I actually got him. Oh fuck. Nice. No. Damn dogs were dang. We're both in tanks. Damn dog.
A warning on Wednesday. 5 sheriffs from the 9 Maryland counties forced to end active partnerships with ICE under new state law.
It is the biggest betrayal to law enforcement and public safety that I have ever seen.
There will be people missed. And that is my concern. There'll be people missed and who will be re-released into our communities who pose a threat.
The legislation, signed by the governor Tuesday, abolishes 287G agreements with ICE.
Mark my word, you will see a dramatic increase in the presence of ICE in this state.
The Carroll County Sheriff told us
Boy,
What?
boy. So we got to talk about a fascinating turn of events out in Maryland as sheriffs are now revolting.
What'd you saw?
Democrat Governor Wes Moore, who I think is the leading contender to be the
How much?
VP nominee for whoever wins the Democrat primary in 2028.
Damn dog.
Because Wes Moore has just signed
Pay your fucking
legislation
seller fee, dog.
requiring local law enforcement agencies to end their participation in the federal immigration enforcement agreement on Tuesday, right? So basically, he signed a piece of legislation that will require local law enforcement to stop cooperating with ICE, right? Or put it this way, they can't have any formal cooperation or agreement with ICE. Now you have sheriffs who are coming out and they're revolting against this. They're saying, hell no, right? We want to work with ICE. We want to work with the Trump administration. This is not making our communities safer when we're not allowed to work with ICE. Now, again, this is a big deal because it really shows you how Democrats are really lit off.
God fucking damn, dude. No. No, they didn't.
They don't believe in deporting anybody. They include criminals. So don't let people fool you into believing that they're somehow moderate or sane on this issue. They're not. And that's what people need to understand about the Democrats in 2028. What it is really offering for this issue of immigration. What is abolish ICE actually? I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you. I know this. Democrats have to bring this, right? They don't want to deport anybody. They're showing it.
Yeah, kill the Nazis. Oh, yo, in front of us, in front of us, in front of us! Fuck, we're fucked. We're fucked, get out. Get the fuck down! Holy fuck, there's 2 tanks there. Holy fuck.
President Trump, he's going to deport more people than Obama. Obama only deported people at the border, right? He turned people around at the border and counted it as a deportation. That's not a real deportation, but I will say,
we must kill the...
Right, minimum due process, which then all of a sudden Democrats claim that due process before they're deported, right? Obama didn't give him that, right? So I will say that about Obama. But other than that, this idea that Trump has done a worse job at deporting illegals than Obama is just it's nonsense, right? It's nonsensical and it pisses me off. But anyway, that's another video, another rant for another day. What we gotta talk about here again.
I don't have a tracer. What do you mean?
Governor Wes Moore signed off today on emergency legislation banning formal
Oh shit, it does. The fuck?
And we've got team coverage tonight as
I painted the fucking thing up in the sky!
one sheriff who's had an agreement with ICE for years. But we want to go first to
Dog, you're
sister station to break down the new Mackenzie.
shit. Inside the house. Bro, I can fucking cameras moving around so much. Yep, this shit's about to explode.
Even if these formal agreements are no longer allowed. We spoke with some Democrats, including the bill sponsor of one of these versions of the bill that is now into law, and asked them if there's anything prohibiting that type of behavior or activity from law enforcement.
In the legislation, there is not. At the voting booth, there is.
Why push this so hard if the state is still going to allow local jurisdictions to work with ICE in some capacity?
Well, the state cannot say you cannot work with ICE. There is federal supremacy, so we cannot say that. But what we can say, and we can make it a state law, that there will not be any type of formative agreement.
Oh.
Wow, incredible. Absolutely incredible. Right? Incredible. These people are showing you just how deranged they become, how extreme they become, especially on this issue of immigration. I just want people to understand, what are Democrats offering?
Did you get the
That's
tank?
what the American people gotta pay attention to. When you look at what they're doing on the state level, at the state level, that is what the national
Nah, it's alright. I got a gunner. Where do you want to go? Up top? Bro, we're gonna get fucking destroyed, just letting you know. Tank up there. I'm moving up. Nice. It's fucking Gonzo. Oh, I got no more gunner. down below. Yep, it's over. Fucking helicopter got me.
When it comes to repeat violent offenders who potentially could be in the country illegally. Now, we should also note that there was a poll conducted in late December through early January showing 54% of Marylanders support local law enforcement doing these type of screenings in detention centers in cooperation with ICE. Live in the State House, Mackenzie Frost.
It's crazy that there's only 54%, right? Ain't it nuts? Only 54%. It really should be 90%, right? It shows you that we're not a sane country. But then again, you know, Maryland is a blue state, so I kind of get it. But it really should be 90%, right? 90%, 95, maybe even 100% of people agree that, hey, the sheriffs, local law enforcement should cooperate with ICE, especially when you're talking about these illegals who are criminals who have been detained so that they're not released back into the streets.
7 News.
All right, let's get on to our Maryland Bureau Chief, Brad Bell, next. And Brad, the Frederick County Sheriff has had a partnership with ICE under this 287G program for years now. So how is that going to...
I just got my LMG.
He's really waiting to see it, but he's already canceled his agreement because of the bill being signed today. Look, he says he's heard all the arguments from the governor and from the others who supported this move. He says, you know, you hear the governor and the legislative leaders say they're trying to protect the communities, immigrant communities, and try to preserve trust between police and those who live in the communities. Out here in Frederick, the sheriff says he's trying to keep his community safe as well. For nearly 2 decades, Frederick Sheriff's correctional officers inside the county jail have worked essentially as deputized federal immigration agents. They routinely check on immigration status in jail for related crimes, and when they found someone in the country illegally, they filed immigration detainers and eventually handed them over to us.
Right? Like, this is common sense. Why is this not right? If you jail somebody, right? You arrest somebody. Checking their immigration status, checking whether or not they're here by default. Should that be the default thing that should be to check citizenship, right? Should that be the default thing? Why is that not the default, right? I don't understand how you well, there's never immigration agents. Why? They're doing something that's basic and checking information about people that they detain and arrest in jail, like it blows my mind. This should be standard operating procedure. Oh yeah, this person's not in the country. Oh yeah, let's call ICE. Yeah, we should call ICE and ask the person. Arrest them. Deport it. Let the federal government handle it. They committed a crime or committed a crime. They clear the country, which is a crime, but they're not. Yeah, we should let ICE handle it. That should be standard. It should be standard. I don't understand. I don't get it. Right? That doesn't make you deputize immigration officers. And also officers who are basic due diligence.
A total of 9 Maryland counties have partnered with ICE to varying degrees in their jails under the law signed by Governor Moore Tuesday law, now permanent here in the building. Frederick County Sheriff officially did it today, ordering his staff to cease immigration-related activities, says he's complying with the law, but says the law is a mistake.
But what you have to understand is what 287G does in our jail is allows us to identify people who are in this country who have committed a crime, and we'll lose all that. So instead of being able to identify that person, file the detainer, and hand them off eventually to ICE in our jail, we have to turn them loose onto the street.
Yeah, and so Mackenzie reported that the governor did send out this letter with guidance saying that this does not prohibit all cooperation, it's just these detainers. And the sheriff does say that he does intend to cooperate in any way he can under the law. He says for now, he is able to hold people for 48 hours, let ICE know that a judge has ordered a release of a person, whether they've completed a sentence or they're being released on bond. and he can hold them for 48 hours. He just can't do that work he described in the jail. He is, however, concerned about another bill that's pending in the legislature, and we don't know if it will pass or not, but it would essentially ban all cooperation. So the sheriff is saying he's keeping an eye on that as well. Scott?
Wow. 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 This creates confusion, right, and chaos. What you get is the only thing the Democrats have to offer. Confusion and chaos. That's what they got. That's what they got. So, yeah, you do have some people who are saying that, hey, no, we're going to continue to help ICE. We're going to defy the order here from the woke governor.
Well.
So yesterday in my state, they just passed a bill, Governor Moore signed an emergency bill to prohibit local law enforcement cooperating with us. And, you know, all the local law enforcement officers say we're going to ignore that because we're required to with them. So I get the whole, you know, overreach and overstep and doing the wrong things, but, you know, when they have violent criminals that they're holding in jail that ICE wants to be detained, they shouldn't be let back on the streets.
If we're not going to have the agreements, then we should still cooperate with our federal partners in ICE, and we're going to allow them to know who we are bringing into our jails and allow them to file subpoenas.
I did explicitly say that no politician is going to tell me that I can't communicate with another law enforcement agency on matters of public safety in my community.
Well, you heard it right there.
That's what I love to hear right there. That's what I love to hear right there. That's exactly what I love to hear. That's what every law enforcement agency across the country should be saying. That's what they should be saying. Screw the politicians. We're going to cooperate anyways because it's about public safety. It's about saving lives.
Saying that Maryland counties are going to challenge these bills in court. Maryland does join some other states that have banned local law enforcement from cooperating with ICE, including New Mexico, Maine, California, Illinois, and Washington State.
Fucking C4 all of them.
But, like I said, these are examples. All about the news. All right, examples. Go Democrat, let get that out of control. I'm telling you, they're shorty what they have. They got more illegals. They got socialism. They have chaos and confusion. That's what they have to offer. And you know, hey, if that's what some people want, you know, it is what it is. But I don't think that most people don't like it. No, man. Look, that's it. You should like, comment, and subscribe.
The Supreme Court has struck down Donald Trump's emergency tariff powers in a major blow to his foreign policy trade negotiation leverage. And I got to be honest, I'm going to come right to the chase. I'm a huge fan of Trump's tariffs. I'm a fan of his strategies and plans in this. I think ultimately this will be very, very bad for the United States because we simultaneously have the offshoring of our jobs and our manufacturing with the opening of our borders and the flooding of illegal immigrants. So our low-skilled labor is being shipped overseas while we're getting a flood of low-skilled laborers. This is a recipe for disaster in this country. So, in fact, we're not going to focus too much on that because we have a much bigger story for all of you today. And it is the return to the United States of the legendary Tommy Robinson.
Thank you, Tim. It's good reception.
Who are you? What do you do?
What do I do? Well, I'm a journalist from the UK. I wasn't a journalist always. I was a street activist. I started off in 2009.
Somebody paint the helicopters.
Discussing problems with mass overboard immigration, specifically from Islamic nations. I was born in Luton Town, 30 miles north of London, and I was born in 1982, but I was I've seen the change in the town. I've seen the problems. Luton was named by the CIA as the epicenter of terrorism across Europe. I've seen it all. So I don't talk about what I've read in the book. I talk about life experience. I've seen the loss of freedom. I've seen the two-tier policing. I've seen the weakness and the cowardice by authorities to deal with these gangs. What you've seen is in Minnesota. The little thing you've seen is I've watched this my whole life. The inability to tackle crimes from a certain community in the town. Kid clubs for every other community. Iron fist for every other community, but kid clubs for the Islamic community. So I've seen lots of problems. I started talking about them in 2009. I formed a street protest movement called England Against It. We were pretty lively, I'm not going to lie. Lively is one word. You have to remember at that time, you know, we all now talk about grooming. We've heard about grooming games. Grooming games is rape jihad.
They're not grooming gangs, grooming people, people dog grooming. We're talking about young children being kidnapped, prostituted, raped and murdered in every town in the UK that has an example. We're talking about a conspiracy of silence from police leaders, religious leaders, political leaders who all knew it was happening but left. Because rather than defending the Islamic community, how dare they be deemed racist? So police officers didn't be called racist. So rather than be called racist, they literally sacrificed a generation of reforms. I came along in 2009, started making a hell of a lot of noise with a hell of a lot of brave people who took to the streets with us. We took to our streets in our thousands and tens of thousands of times, but we were pretty aggressive on the street. We had to be. There was never going to be female school teachers or nurses that stood up.
And they prosecuted and persecuted me just over and over and over again. It was crazy. You know, I remember that story where you came out before he said gone into the beer. They were denying you food. You went south there to find them. We got a lot to talk about. And your story is a warning for the United States about what happens when it goes too far. We can see what's going on in the UK, and we can see some of it happening in the United States, and we are fighting against policies, institutions, and we are seeing very similar. You mentioned the Somali stuff. That's not just Minnesota; it's Ohio, it's California, it's Washington. So, Tommy, it's amazing to have you here. It's going to be a great conversation. Thanks for joining us.
Get on. Nice. Fucking loser.
I'm with the Post Millennial and also the podcast, which you can check out at
And to spice things up, we brought Ian.
I thought you were, I didn't think you were racist. I was fully propagandizing 2018 about all the time around such a big racist on the planet. I think the danger of mass migration, and then we can go into Islam and even talk about, like, you know, radical theology as well. But thanks for being here, man.
It's good to be here, man. And I'm honoured to be here. How long I've waited to be here. Do you know how much I've wanted to be here?
15 years, right?
Well, I was here in 2011. I got 10 months in jail. I spent 22 weeks in solitary confinement for 2 days in New York.
Wow.
So I stupidly come here on another passport. But I come here to give a warning to America because I wish someone come to my town 30 years ago, 40 years ago, and told us this is what's going to happen. This is how it's going to happen. I've experienced it. You get a warning to the people of England 30 years ago. So I felt my message was that to America, say, look, Britain's failed, France failed, Germany failed, it doesn't work. So you have to stop it now because we'll get onto the discussion how that might base comes.
Indeed. We got Phil hanging out.
Hello, everybody. My name's Phil Bonkin, lead singer of the heavy metal band All That Remains, Atlanta Comics and counter-revolutionary artist.
Dude, thank you so much for coming here for all your work for a long time, and it's really good to have you here. Very excited for this conversation.
I'm going to start with the story from the AP to kick off the American perspective on what's going on. We have this. The Supreme Court strikes down sweeping tariffs, upending central plank of economic agenda. There are a couple things to point out in this story because I think it relates to what's going on with the UK, what you're fighting against, Tommy. And I'll start with, first, Trump has used the tariffs as leverage for the American workers to stop the offshoring of our jobs when we have a dysfunctional Congress and when our low-skilled labor and even mid-skilled labor is being shipped off to China, to Indonesia, to Mexico. But at the same time, our borders have been open effectively for a decade plus, and their estimates ranging from 30 to 50 million illegal immigrants in the United States today. And 10 to 20 million was the number given during the Biden administration when he opened up the border and flooded this country with non-citizens who then the administration basically killed their court hearings, making them de facto second-class permanent residents. What it looks like Trump is doing, and I say it looks like because it's hard to know for sure exactly what's going on, Trump recognized that the American way of life is being eroded. You've got, as Tommy pointed out in the intro to the show, the Somali fraud crisis. Billions of dollars from American workers and taxpayers being funneled by these Somali migrants and shipped off to Somalia. And it's happening in Ohio, it's happening in California, it's happening in Washington, it's happening all over. The problem here, and beyond this story, because admittedly, Trump says he's got a backup plan, we'll see how this goes breaking. But here's where I see the risk. And it's difficult problem to face. Our Supreme Court, the ultimate law of the land, ruled 6-3 against Donald Trump. Clarence Thomas, Samuel Alito, and Brett Kavanaugh agreed with Trump's right to issue emergency tariffs for under this law. Unfortunately for us, there are two conservatives who are more concerned with appearing factually correct as the sentence is written than doing what must be done to save your country. Now, that's a challenging question that one would pose. But I throw it to everyone's favorite president, Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln gets into office and starts cracking skulls. And I'm not even trying to be funny. The man literally pulls a bunch of troops in, says, we're not going to let the South secede. We're going to crush this, suspending habeas corpus, arresting politicians, arresting journalists, threatening to arrest a citizen for justice. Lincoln said, this country will not fall under my watch. Now, as much as that's scary, Abraham Lincoln is the most popular president. Because in a time of great emergency, he used whatever power or maneuver he could to preserve the Union. Now, I'm not going to say that we're at the exact same period in the United States. But when I see a Supreme Court say, you know, there is an interpretation that Trump could issue these tariffs to protect American interests, he says, well, you know what, I know the country's burning down. I know our working class are suffering. I know we're being defrauded, ripped off every which way. But the rules are the rules, so we have to let them do it. And this is the attitude, I think, of a dying nation.
I agree.
This is very Buchanan-esque. And so when I look to the story for Utah, I think the UK is much, much, much further along than we are. People are being arrested for things they post on social media. Young girls are getting raped and trafficked, and when the fathers try to stop it, the police arrest them instead. And this is because you have institutions that are more concerned about looking bad than doing what must be done to preserve their country.
Looking bad and power. I just in my hometown, we had Vauxhall's car park, and they were allowed to ship off.
Nice.
30,000 jobs gone. And I look at Donald Trump, when he was coming in, what he was saying to the car manufacturers, you're not leaving. If you leave, we're going to tax you, bringing the cars back in. And I think we needed that. We needed that to protect our jobs in the UK, to protect Luton. If we didn't have an airport, well, Luton is rated like the town of Britain. It's a failing of the town. It's totally gone. 50% Pakistan, the town's gone. So I look at what Donald Trump was trying to do for American workers and wish we had someone that cared about our workers. But everyone in control of our country at the minute are more cared about global affairs.
It feels like across the West, Europe and the United States, but seemingly most pronounced in the UK, or maybe it does feel like it's mostly the UK. There is an effort to destroy national identity, culture, tradition, a way of life of people. So we see the Biden administration flooding the United States with 10 to 20 million people from all over the world. You know, a lot of people immediately just assume it's going to be Guatemala and Mexico. We had people coming in from Eritrea. They're in Eastern Africa, fly to West Africa, fly to Brazil, and then come to the Mexican-U.S. border to come into our country illegally. Slowly over time, we have seen a really great example of what this does. Polls right now are saying Republicans are bleeding Latino voters over immigration operations. You know what that means? It means that there is a voting population in the United States that is significant enough to cost a party an election who cares more about non-citizens than the citizens of this country. When you keep letting in non-citizens and you give them the right to vote, their interests will lie outside of your nation and it will erode your country.
So, in the case of the British, is it just that, I'm wondering, and tell me no if I'm wrong, that the royal family, the landowners are like, you know what, we're just going to sell out, we're going to become a corporate arm of the liberal economic order, we're going to become part of this technocratic banking establishment out of Switzerland with the World Economic Forum. They're just like, we're going to sell out our people and our populace. England's a small territory anyway. Our holding overseas.
I agree.
None of it's a mistake. Your borders weren't open in the way they were at the same time as Canada's, the same time as Britain's, the same time as the whole of Europe's. None of it's a mistake. Literally, they're not even, they come off 20 metres off the coast of Libya, and NGOs funded by the European Union pick them up, bring them on boats to the next step, and they're funneled the whole way. It's all organised people trafficking. And it's people trafficking to replace voters. So, like, your borders are open. If they get to vote, if you look at the swing states in America, the immigration rate went up 700% by the illegal, 700% of the swing states. They wanted to make it so there was no swing states ever again by importing and bringing in voters. Spain's just about to recognise 1.3 million because they're worried about Vox. They're worried about the populist party who are against immigration. What do? They give citizenship to over 1 million people. Those million people will vote for them. Now all they really care about, we realise, and I can use the rape gangs as an example, All they actually care about power. So, and I'll give my hometown again as an example. I'm from Luton Town. In 2013, I looked at the demographic change of the communities. By 2030, which was a 17-year period, the Bangladeshi and Pakistani community were going to increase by 70 to 77%. The white and black community by 1.2 to 1.4%. So the Labour Party, or the Democrat Party, knows in Luton the future is the Islamic community. The future's not us. At that point, we're irrelevant. We are irrelevant. So if you even look where they put the Somalis, because when I say they put them, Minnesota, they brought them in. So they brought them in from the hottest place in the world, and they put them in one of the coldest, in America. Why would they do that? That doesn't make sense. Why would they even do that? They do that because they're bringing them in because they want the block vote. They want the block future Democrat vote in this area, in this area, in this area. So they flood these certain places purposely. It's importing votes to change the demographic future of a nation. The Republicans would, unless Donald Trump gets rid of the illegal immigrants, and they, under the Biden regime, they're trying to get allowing them to vote. They're allowed to vote in Europe. All of this is happening across Europe.
Damn dog, 18 and 18.
Let me explain. Are you familiar with the electoral college system in the U.S.?
No.
So we often hear from conservatives that Democrats want immigrants to vote, and they're hyper-focused on fraud, and that's not actually the issue. The issue is congressional
time ever. ICE has a history. CPP has a history of terrorizing black and brown communities. People are asking themselves, why are we, our taxpayer dollars, paying for masked, lawless men to terrorize our communities, kidnap people, take children, and kill Americans? So I ask you, and I'm doing following up to Joy because I want an answer to this. You said you want to rein in ICE. I'm saying, I'm talking about the long term now. Why not lead and say abolish
Damn
ICE?
dog,
Because what you're telling us
it's your
is
favorite.
taxpayer dollars to pay for a lawless masked armed agency to continue terrorizing our cities. And I'm trying to figure out how you, as a leader, can be telling Americans that their taxpayer dollars should be going to ICE.
I don't understand anything that you just said. When I spoke English. When I don't understand anything that you've just said to me when I've made clear that taxpayer dollars should be used to make life more affordable for the American people, not brutalize or kill them. That's the whole reason we're in this fight right now. That's the whole reason the DHS is getting ready to shut down. That's the whole reason why that is a, listen, I'm going to use the language that I'm going to use. You can use the language that you want to use.
So, about a fascinating exchange on Abby Phillips' failing show that only gets viewership because it's Scott Jennings. And I got to tell you guys, Scott Jennings really did a great job here at exposing the radical left Democrat agenda.
Oh, I think.
I've been telling you guys that Democrats cannot give you a straight answer.
I think.
All they do is bitch and cry about Trump actually doing laws. Democrats
I am human being.
at all, right? They don't want to answer any question about what Democrats actually want to do or what they're going to do because they're incentivized to open up and to not deport any illegals. They need illegals in blue states in order to avoid losing power in Congress after the 2030 census.
Take into account the population mid-2025. Look at this. The biggest population growth this decade, all 5 of the states that Donald John Trump won. Donald John Trump won in 2022. Texas, Florida, North Carolina, Georgia, and of course the great state of Arizona where I spent my years. I love those folks out in Prescott, Arizona. These were the biggest gainers. The biggest gainers in terms of population compared to the 2020 census. Now,
I think.
We're looking at a red state boom here, but it is not just a red state boom. We're also looking at what I would dare to call a blue state democracy. Who are the people? Who and where are the people moving from into the red states? Well, they're blue states. They're blue states. Take a look here.
I think.
Migration this decade. All the states that were won by Kamala Harris in 2024.
I think.
Where I'm coming from right now, of course, Illinois.
Dog, they're inside building.
Which is a bastion of blue liberalism. These are the states that folks in the United States are moving away from and into the red states, which is propelling a red state boom. Now, this is interesting, right? Look at this. Look at the House sheet. The House sheet shifts by state. Remember, of course, we apportion the number of House seats depending on the population in the state. If, in fact, the 2025 population holds the states that Kamala Harris won, they would lose. They would lose 7 seats in the United States House of Representatives. The states that Donald Trump won and Trump won.
Too far, though.
Medic! Need a medic! Lost him!
He's right by you, dog. Fucking retard.
We need attack support on the marked objective.
Dude, where the fuck are they? Where are... Get the fuck out of the way!
Grab what you can!
Somebody destroy that fucking tank.
Contact! Enemy Vic!
Dude.
Need a medic! Medic!
Is this guy not gonna revive me? Great.
We now hold more objectives. Keep pushing. Man down! Man down! Take him down! Be advised, we're tracking an enemy tank south of your location.
Be neutralized. You need attack support on the marked objective.
The battle is still being controlled by the enemy.
Fuck is that guy not dead?
We've lost control of objective Charlie.
Worse than from fucking behind. Oh my fucking god.
We're attacking Charlie.
Frag out!
Be advised, marked objective under threat. Let's defend the position.
Dead in less than a second.
Objective Charlie is in enemy hands.
Be advised, hostiles attacking Bravo. Moving objective Charlie.
I need a medic!
Why am I on fire for so long? Fuck are the other stairs?
Fuck! Medic!
Fuck it. Yes.
We've lost control of Delta. The enemy have taken more objectives.
Oh boy.
Objective Bravo.
Our attack on Bravo is underway. Bravo has been neutralized.
Fucking grenade.
Explosive ready!
Be advised, Charlie is under attack. You're leaving the AO. Return to combat.
Large lane!
We are moving on objective Alpha.
We're still ahead in the fight. Maintain your attack. Be advised, you're exiting the combat zone. Be advised, hostiles are attacking objective Charlie.
Let's move!
Our forces are winning. Keep it up.
Damn, dog. Setting people on fire. Nice.
The enemy have taken more objectives.
Get me the fuck out of here! Let's get out of there. Oh, shut your fucking mouth.
Our forces are attacking a
Yeah.
We now control more objectives. Secure our defenses.
They would win 7 seats. Now, this isn't just about the House of Representatives, right? It's also about the Electoral College, because the number of electoral votes that each state gets is equal to the number of senators. Each state, of course, has 2, plus the number of House seats that they have. So what does it mean for the House of Representatives? Well, if you remember back in 2024, right, it was all about, we were talking about the blue wall. If Kamala Harris could win the baseline Democratic states and then add in the blue wall states of Michigan, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin, she would get to 270 electoral votes. But if all of a sudden we in fact have applying the 2025 estimates, the population estimates, to the
It's
electoral
your
college,
favorite
the blue states
mop
plus the blue
dog.
wall of Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin would no longer be enough. Under the current estimates, you get to exactly 270 electoral votes, the minimum needed to win the electoral college. If in fact you look at that. You only get 263 electoral votes.
A Republican victory, right? This is something I know is going to happen if Democrats take back power and control. They're going to open up the borders. They are not going to deport anybody. And the far left is calling to abolish ICE. Now, what you guys saw at the beginning of the video was Hakeem refusing to answer the question about whether or not, as the leader of the Democrat Party, should
What the fuck you mean? Still choosing my gun.
the question is because he knows that if he says he does not,
Are you fucking retarded, dude?
then the far left will get upset. And if he says that he does want to abolish ICE, then he looks like a radical. To me, I'm going to assume that because he can't answer the question, because he can't stand up to the radical, that he's totally on board with abolishing.
Hey, nobody's in my fucking squad.
I say this because, again, the Democrat agenda when it comes to
Okay, never mind.
to allow as many in the country as possible, to allow as many of them to stay as possible. So this is right here. Again, featuring other black liberals right here. Because Scott very simple question that he refuses to answer. It interrogates everything you know about, again, what Democrats do in this country when it comes to mass migration. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get it.
That's right. This administration cannot be trusted, and they can be trusted to hold themselves accountable, even after the killing of Alex Bricker. They share information about it is happening. Which is why we have to abolish ICE, we have to abolish the Customs and Border Control the way they currently exist.
Holy effing shies.
Which is why we need a Congress that works to manage one after that, holding these people in this administration accountable. How they will not, the work is not killing citizens, and
course he fucking comes up, dude. What the fuck?
Let's go!
Yeah, revive me now. Fucking piece of shit. You fucking piece of shit.
Make sure that people who are single alien that you would deport. You know, this is what I need you to focus on. This is what I want to focus on. There are a lot of people in this country, in our community, is that we don't terrorize American citizens, we don't terrorize
Again, it all makes sense when you understand what their agenda is, what they're incentivized to do. The only thing Democrats care about is power and control. They will agree with any policy that advances their agenda, their power and control. Once you understand that, you realize that, again, Democrats are very predictable in regard to this. Somebody know what to answer the question. Scott being asked Mark objective, right? Martin Luther Negro here. Okay? He asked very simple question. Are there any illegals that you want to deport? Any. What answer? Why? Because the answer to that question is no. They don't support any. Now, you know, if this dude wasn't so radical, he could say something. And this is not a gotcha, right? It's a very easy question to answer, right? For somebody who, you know, can say, well, we want to support violent criminals. That is the position that Democrats want to believe that they have. They don't even believe in that. How do you know they don't believe in that? Look at what they're doing at the state level. Look at what they're doing at the state level. Yesterday, I covered a video, a story about how Wes Moore, who's supposed to be a Democrat superstar, right? Governor of Maryland. Okay, he's supposed to be one of the guys that can be running for president. Okay? He basically banned sheriff from cooperating with him. Now, what were these sheriffs doing? Well, they would arrest criminals, right? And they would call up ICE and say, hey, you know, you got an illegal. Law enforcement doing that. Now, why don't they want law enforcement doing that? If their real position is, right, their stated position is, we want to deport violent ones, why are they not allowing local law enforcement to cooperate with ICE when they arrest illegals? Because they don't want any of them to violent. They don't.
Nice.
That's how radically far left Democrats are on this issue.
Dog, I revived my teammate, dog.
That Democrats are selling the American people snake oil. This is why Hakeem Jeffries, with a straight face, can't tell the far-left lunatics that he doesn't want to abolish ICE. Why? Because he knows what the far left wants, and he's going to capitulate to the far left. He's a puppet of the far left. If Democrats take back power in control, we'll see the exact same thing we saw on the Biden. Y'all remember the caravan with the leaders coming to the border?
Damn it. Dropped out again.
They're gonna say, oh, you're leaving the AO. Return to combat. We granted them mass asylum, right? They're asylum seekers. We gave them legal status, so therefore they're not illegal. Democrats want to turn into once you understand that and you understand what's happening, look at the migration, look at the socialism, Look at all the things that are happening in Europe. They want to turn our country into Europe. When you understand that, you say, okay, well, yeah, mass migration clearly is something that we want. Clearly that's something they're going to allow. They don't want to deport anybody. Nobody. This dude, could not say with a straight face, hey, we want to deport white people. That's the easy answer. And he can't even say that.
We've neutralized objective Bravo.
So when they come out here and they say abolish ICE, what they really
We are targeting Alpha.
don't deport
But, you know, Scott, the gotcha question.
It's not gotcha. It's a legitimate question. What do you? It's not a gotcha, right? That's the crazy part. It's not a gotcha. Like it's a very simple question. Are there any illegals that should be deported? The answer to the question is really, yeah. If you're here illegally, you should be deported. Again, the Democrats will try to position themselves as reasonable and moderate. The answer should have been, yeah, we should not want violence, right? Or at least that is the position that they've stated in the past. But they don't really believe that, right? That's the whole point of the state. They don't even believe in supporting the violence. That's interesting, isn't it?
I don't represent the Democratic Party. I represent Iowa. But I actually agree with what Justin said. I think that there is a role for immigration enforcement, obviously, in this country, but I don't think we need to use ICE to be doing that. We were able to do this in this country before ICE was created, and we don't need them in the future. But having said that, I object to the whole term that you use illegal and you use illegal aliens. I don't think they're undocumented people. They are human beings. They're not illegal. They're not something that's regardless of what the law says,
Dehumanize the terminology. What does that actually really mean? What that means is that calling an illegal immigrant an illegal, right, which they are, they're here illegally, okay, signals that, hey, they broke the law, that they don't belong here, right? So Democrats want to change the language around it, and the reason why they want to change the language around it is because psychologically, when you say, oh no, they're actually undocumented, right? Undocumented sounds soft, right? It sounds, okay, well, you know, you're just undocumented, right? That doesn't imply they actually broke the law, right? That they're here illegally, okay? So understand,
We've begun our assault on
no deportation at all. Violence, doesn't matter. They don't want any deportation. They want wide open borders. They want amnesty, right? They want to allow everybody, the whole world, everybody from the third world, allow them in, okay? That's
Nice.
because a lot of these people are cultural Marxists. And a lot of them want it because they want to, basically, dilute the white population. Let's keep it 100, right? A lot of them are on
Dog, you lie.
you know,